Hello everyone, welcome into the channel. My name is Brent with Investing on the Go. Today we're going to be covering the living out of my brokerage account, how I blundered my December budget. So you guys can join me as I take on the challenge of living out of the brokerage account without going over budget. Let's see if I can pull it off on a month-to-month basis or if I'll totally fail along the way. In the month of December, yes, we completely failed. We're going to go ahead and showcase some of the challenges that we faced along the way in December, reasons why our budget failed, discussing some of the common pitfalls that you guys may run into if you guys are also living out of a brokerage account. And we're going to go ahead and share how we're going to overcome having spent a little bit too much in the month of December. So with that said, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, I would really appreciate if you go down below, hit that subscribe, also smash that thumbs up. And if you guys would like, you guys can join the completely free Discord server. The link is down in the pinned comment. You guys can join in there, drop any sort of comments and discussions. I try and post in there at least a few times a week, kind of what I'm seeing in the market or things that I'm doing. So you guys can jump in there, hang out, say hello. And if you have any questions along the way on this specific video, go ahead and drop it into the comments section. That way it gives me fuel to answer that specific question, and it can help benefit someone else along the way who's looking to do this sort of route going forward. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, if you guys are brand new here, we completely live out of our brokerage account, meaning that we have covered call ETFs that generate dividends. I have miscellaneous income. This is YouTube income from my other YouTube channel. This channel is not yet monetized, but is well on its way. I have referrals, affiliates. I have cashback rewards. I have interest and other miscellaneous forms of income, which I just kind of group up into miscellaneous income. It provides a good cushion, but the dividends are the main factor. So I have rental income from my other side business that I don't always use to push and funnel into this side, but in months of December, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Generally, all those capital, majority of the capital goes into the brokerage account. We load up on our credit card, our daily expenses, our bills, our things that are happening in our daily life. And then at the very end of the month, we pay down the credit card, we pay off the mortgage, or pay down the mortgage, we pay down the car loan payment. And then we have excess at the very end that we're able to reinvest into our appreciating ETFs, which generate the next month's income even higher. Well, this month we blundered, as I said. So quick December recap. In the month of December, we saw that the main indexes, the SPY and the QQQ that I mostly follow, were essentially flat. S&P 500 here in purple went up 0.6%. In orange, we had the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100, up 0.13. So I will say anything within up one or down one, just kind of sideways and flat. Now, SPY is our main covered call ETF along with QQQI. Those are both of the ones that I invest in. We can see here that SPY grew 0.32% in the month. This is just price, not total return. Total return would have dividends paid out and reinvested. This is just looking at the price itself. And QQQI was down 0.26. We have a small fractional portion invested into BTCI. So in the month of December, the thing was essentially flat. Okay, that's normal. We're gonna have months of down in the market, up in the market, right? It's just gonna happen. Now, jumping over to our dividend portfolio, we can see here the dividends that were paid out. These are the numbers that I expected based off the shares. So in the month of December currently, I own 2,885 shares of SPY, 3,083 shares of QQQI, and only 280 shares of BTCI. When I went to the website on SPY had expectancy of 0.5316. That is right here, 0.5316. On QQQI, we had a expectancy of 0.6413, 0.6413, and BTCI, we had a expectancy of 0.9967, so 0.9967, and we can see based on this income, we expected to be paid out roughly $3,789.87. So we can see here SPY paid out 1,574. So that was 7 cents over our expectancy of SPY. But BTCI paid out 279.06. So that's 2 cents there that we expected a little bit more, but it's fine, right? That's 2 cents. And then QQQI paid out $1,977.08. So that is a difference of 5 cents. So that's essentially 6 cents that, I expected it. I got more from SPY than I expected, but I didn't get paid as much in QQQ IPTCI, but it's still averaged out, right? If you add this up and you add this up, it's exactly the same thing. So this all hit the brokerage account, $3,789.87. Now, jumping back to the month of how I do my transactions. Now, I'm not going to show you all of the transactions that I have, but this is just a very quick snippet. In my transaction log, I go through on a either monthly or weekly basis, and I go through and I add in where did we spend money for the month, right? In early December, I had my Avista, my gas bill. We went to Costco. So I always go to Costco, go to Trader Joe's, paid my city utilities. Now, talking about some of the challenges that we face while sticking to our budget and some of the reasons for our budgeting failure. My son's dental implant that he got a while back, we saw that it had became inflamed and had got infected. So we had to take action at that time, and he had to go in and get it extracted. So we had some expenses there that were unplanned for. So we had a cost of $175, $280 that we didn't account for. Even with, we use dental plans to do our reduced dental expenses, but because when we went to the doctor to try and talk to them, they wanted us to come in and talk to him, have him take a look at it. So we went another route, and my wife called another doctor in order to get him in, get him scheduled. And that next day we got him in, checked him out, right? Because any sort of dental infections that can lead to many more issues. So we didn't want to deal with that. So we went ahead and did take the hit there as a health issue. And we paid for that dental implant out of pocket there. Some of it, right? The majority of it, I'm going to say. Then we had normal stuff, Pet Market, Walmart, Costco, Walmart, right? That right there, really early on, just kind of showcasing some of those challenges that you guys could face while setting up a budget. You're going to have these unexpected things, regardless whether you have insurance or no insurance. You're going to just have out of pocket sometimes until you hit your what's it called, like that cap where, hey, you hit a certain amount, you don't have to pay anymore. No, you still have to continue to pay, especially if you haven't paid the amount needed, right? So let's go ahead and go into the budget. So this is exactly how our December budget ended up. So we can see here that it started off pretty, it started off pretty bad in the early portion of December, right? We had to pay a little bit excess on the credit card. So our dividend investment income, we can see our actual amount was $3,789.88. I had expected around $364 of miscellaneous income. We had $990.84 of miscellaneous income into the account. There's still other income as well that I'm sure will flow in as we get closer to the first, right? I'm going to have that cashback income get kicked in. I'm going to have interest that gets kicked in. But just kind of early on, this is kind of what I'm seeing and expecting at the moment that I can clearly know how much I'm going to get. So our planned income was $47.64. Our actual was $47.80. Our fixed expenses was pretty accurate, right? Fixed expenses, electric, gas, water, city, trash. I pay trash on a bi-monthly schedule. So for this month, I didn't schedule any fixed expenses there. Internet, flat expenses for the internet, mobile fee, car insurance. I only pay my streaming subscription on the 10th month of October. That's my Prime. So every year on the 10th month of the year, I'll try and have a fixed expense where I kind of budget that into my, my budget. And home security, we have the Ring bell, but it's very inexpensive. I think it's like $4 a month, a one-time yearly fee, and then you don't do it for the rest of the year. It's fairly inexpensive. I didn't include that in my budget either. Our variable expenses went wild this month. It was the month of December, so I'm hoping all of you guys had a great Christmas out there. We had a ton of, I'm going to say planned food outings that not going out and dining out, right? We dined out just $25.95. That was because my son and my daughter had a reward that they got from school, and we wanted to reward them, so we took them to eat at their favorite place they like to go to. So there was some dining out there. I didn't get anything for myself. We like to eat at home. But still, Christmas Eve, we cooked at our home. We had some friends come over. We had a big dinner. And then on Christmas Day, we went to another friend's house. We cooked up some pies, and we just had an excess amount of spending going towards groceries in the month of December, along with we also had, gifts season. Gifts weren't too bad. I marked a few as gifts in Amazon. We actually ended up, my wife had signed up for the Amazon Prime card, which floated her a $250 gift card on her Amazon account. So we were able to use that for a good portion of gifts, along with other things as well. I think some of the gifts got probably wrapped up into the groceries bill because I mark anything from Walmart, Trader Joe's, Costco as groceries. I'm not big about uh, ripping those sections apart and really, dissecting them. So things that I buy at Costco could be food, it could be electronics, it could be presents, anything at Walmart. Again, same thing. Walmart's that, conglomerate kind of thing where it has different kinds of stuff. So some of the groceries could also be presents for birthdays that took place this month, presents. So that's probably why groceries is just looking a little bit high. It's a bunch of numbers from gifts. It's a bunch of numbers from groceries kind of wrapped in there because I don't go through the receipt and digest exactly line for line what it was. Amazon, we spent some money over at Amazon this month. Again, health costs right there, 80 bucks. Dental costs, 455. I thought there was another one in there, but it must have just been 455 that we paid off in the month of December so far. Pet care came a little bit over extra. Our cat decided to eat a bit more this month, so he went a little bit over our planned budget. Now, in terms of saving, I don't include anything in this account. I'm saving over at SoFi. I have that generating from that account. It's pulling from my SoFi account and it's investing on that side automatically. So I don't really do anything on this end. I also have $1,000 on Robinhood as well that I'm not kind of tinkering with at the moment. And these are just, I'm not using this specific portion of the budget just yet, but going into 2026, I'd like to kind of funnel more capital from my external accounts into this account to funnel some buyback when prices, such in the month of December, get pushed down below our cost basis, or say dividends get paid out, our cost basis gets put down, and the market kind of moves down for a bit. I want to be able to funnel more cash into the account and buy into the red. So that way it just buys back more shares. So we'll cover that moving into 2026. This is a really rough draft of our budget. Then our mortgage and our auto loan payment, we paid those off in early December 2025. So that already got withdrawn and paid out. Auto loan already got paid out and withdrawn. And that is pretty much it. But you can see here, we planned to have $364 of excess capital after our income was coming in. We had our fixed expenses paid down, our variable expenses paid down, and then our debts paid down. And we had expected $364, but we can see that our variable expenses went a bit wild. You can see here, we went about $1,000 over our variable expenses. Our debts were on point. Our fixed expenses went a little bit under, and we did make a little bit extra income than we expected. So in the month of December 2025, I am out of budget by $633.38. So what I'll have to do in this case, right? In this case, my solution is that I will have to pay myself. I don't normally pay myself for my business, right? Usually everyone should pay yourself if you're running a business, but I like to just have it collect in the account. It's at a high yield savings account. And in this month, I just went over budget by a bit, $633.38. So I will have to pay myself. I always like to give myself an extra 100. So I'll pay myself $733.38. That way, going into the month of December, we'll be flat. We'll pay down the credit card. We'll pay down the just have extra capital in the account, right? Because going into the month of month of January, we're going to have, once again, mortgage loan get withdrawn, auto loan get withdrawn. So by midway through December 2025, we had already kind of seen early on that we were going to be a little bit over budget for 2025. Luckily, around midpoint 2025, I get paid my real estate business income, so I have all the income coming in, and using that income, I can usually see like, okay, well, this month I expected X amount from rentals. So then I have excess capital coming in. It pays off the property manager. It pays off their own expenses. I have capital that arrives into the account. It pays down the mortgages, and then I have a remainder left over that I choose to either pay to myself or just leave it in the account for a rainy day fund. In this case, we need a portion of that rainy day fund to cover some of the expenses that we went over a bit in December. We'll have to definitely keep in mind going into January 2025 that we don't want to over budget, like over expense in January, right? We over expense in December. We got to learn from our experience, try and cut back, right? We shouldn't have another dental extraction. My son was very learning from the experience that he doesn't like to get injected with needles and get his tooth extracted in that fashion because it's painful. And he's been brushing his teeth a lot better to try and prevent that, right? There's preventive measures that you learn from. That way, going forward in the next month, you're not going to have that sort of instance. So if we didn't have, a couple health costs and dental costs coming in, we probably wouldn't have gone over budget by this month. Also, our cat is probably expected to eat out a bit more. Our clothing, I don't know why that one shot up as much as it had, right? We're not going always out to buy new clothing, but in the month of December, it looks like it got picked up a bit. Maybe just going out and getting some weather gear, right, for the snow. I think that's why it went a little bit over. But going into January 2025, this should all be corrected. We should come back in line with our budget in January 2025. If you guys have any comments or questions, suggestions on how you guys orientate your own budget, keep your guys in check, let me know down in the comment section below. But I'm hoping by sharing some of the key takeaways here, experiences, and highlighting some of the areas that I didn't plan for, then you guys can learn from that and go forward in your own budgeting. So this is just a quick December 2025. I would like to really fine tune this going into 2026 and stick to a budget, showcase that it is a really useful tool for knowing how much income is coming in, where your money is going to, knowing that you're excessively spending on groceries, or I'm sure this will drop down in the month of January just due to us not having group dinners in our home, not going in group dinners at other people's homes, not having a whole lot of Christmas spending. So I know we went a little bit extra in the month of December, but January is a new month where we can hopefully cut back and come way under budget, and also begin to showcase that we're saving more towards this individual account or other individual account. I'm not a big believer in retirement accounts right now. I have a good sizable amount in retirement accounts, but they are doing their own thing and they're just kind of going on their own. I'm not going to be messing with them a whole lot. So I'm just going to let them ride, right? Let them invest them and let it ride. And they're doing what they do. So guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Once again, we went ahead and covered living out of a brokerage account, how I blundered my December budget. We went over budget $633, but I'm going to go ahead and pay myself for my rental business for the month of December. We're going to pay down all expenses and debt down to zero in terms of our credit card. And then we'll start fresh going into January 2026. And if you guys are interested in weekly videos on our budget, and if you guys are interested in the whole journey, then definitely go down below, hit that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up. Hopefully it was educational and fun, and you guys can learn from the experience that we had. And that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.